Rare indulgence, no one to control.
Essica dragged me to a nightclub. Neon lights, smoke swirling, the spotlight on the Dion stage, and the rhythmic music made everyone sway.
The Bloody Mary hit hard. After just a few sips, I felt a bit dizzy.
I heard the star here is a guy, and he's absolutely stunning.
Jessica's loud voice buzzed in my ear like a mosquito, but I still heard her clearly. Andrew didn't like such chaotic places, but Tom insisted on dragging him along.
Andrew, we're here to relax. Your stern face is scaring away all the ladies.
Andrew brushed off the arm on his shoulder.
You reek. I'm going out for some air.
With that, he left. After a few steps, a woman caught his eye. Her every move seemed to have a hook. The figures before me overlapped and blurred, but I vaguely saw a face that perfectly matched my aesthetic pass by my shoulder. I stumbled forward, those almond-shaped eyes indifferent and smoky, his features deep-set, and his gaze inherently affectionate. I raised my hand to encircle the neck of the person in front of me.
Let go.
His voice was cold and clear.
I heard you're the star here. You do look quite good.
My tone was seductive as I lightly lifted his chin and kissed him without warning. His lips were cool, with a hint of sweetness, and the faint taste of fruit wine made me reluctant to stop. He was provoked and took control, aggressively invading, depriving me of breath and oxygen, yet making it impossible to refuse. An indescribable spark ignited. Half a year later. Moonlight sneaked through the cracks, casting a glow on the man's long, thick eyelashes, shadowed like the feathers of a gray sparrow. His high, prominent nose was more defined than that of an average Asian, creating a serene and peaceful atmosphere. Lying down, Andrew distinctly felt the warmth in the bed, finding it odd but not thinking much of it.
He next morning. Get up. Today, it's either we outdo others or they outdo us. Strive for the pinnacle of life.
I was used to sleeping under the covers, and hearing the sound, I reached out, groping around.
Where is that noise coming from?
But the covers were airtight, muffling the sound, making it seem like it came from all directions. My hand, losing patience, hurriedly felt along the sheets, suddenly touching something large and hard.
Ugh, what is that noise?
Andrew, annoyed by the noise, furrowed his brows several times before letting go. It wasn't his phone's sound, and he had never heard it before. But the sound was too close, so he reached out with his eyes closed, feeling under the pillow until he found something phone-shaped and turned it off. His left hand, however, was still held by something. Startled, he extended his left arm from under the covers, dragging out the hand and its owner.
What the?
Unexpectedly, I, still groggy, stumbled into Andrew's embrace.
Who are you?
I squinted my eyes and looked up, meeting a pair of astonished eyes. Those eyes were mesmerizing at first glance. They were like ink-washed landscapes, cold and aloof, yet extraordinary.
Who are you? How did you get in here?
I should be asking you that. This is my room.
Frightened, I sprang up from the bed, clutching a pillow and retreating far away, looking down at the party dress I was wearing. The dark red satin dress was smooth, revealing patches of porcelain white skin. One strap had slipped off, making me look disheveled yet inexplicably alluring.
Get yourself together.
Who are you? Who let you into my house and sleep in my bed?
Andrew came up from downstairs with a cup of warm water, handing it to me without a word.
My mouth was dry, and I was indeed thirsty after last night's drinking.
Feeling better?
One sentence left me speechless again. So, he was trying to sober me up, afraid I might say something unclear.
Who are you, really? Why are you in my house? You look familiar.
Andrew chuckled, his serene eyes coming to life, exuding a captivating charm. He walked up, his cool fingertips brushing my neck, sliding down to my collarbone, and then lingering on my shoulder, lifting the fallen strap.
Sis, put your clothes on properly. I'm a grown man. And, after leaving me alone in the hotel that day, aren't you going to take responsibility?
Hotel. What hotel?
A memory hidden deep within me was suddenly brought up. My first time was with an unknown man.
Cough, cough, cough.
Andrew gently patted my back.
Careful. You're Olivia, the landlord's daughter, right? They often mentioned you. I'm the tenant here now.
When did my parents rent out my room without discussing it with me, and to this person?
I rented the entire second floor, not just one room.
You're the top guy?
Andrew's eyes flashed with a dangerous warning.
For the last time, I'm not a gigolo.
Mom, when did someone move into our house? I didn't know.
This is our house. Why do we have to tell you? Wait, how do you know someone moved in? Did you come home?
You're right.
Oh. Why didn't you say so earlier? Your dad and I booked a trip to Sonia. Let me see if we can come back sooner.
Where am I supposed to sleep? My room is occupied by him.
Andrew, downstairs drinking water, chuckled upon hearing this.
What happened?
Nothing. So, where do I sleep? You can sleep in our room downstairs, or squeeze into the study if necessary. The rent is only for 2 more weeks, he'll be back to school soon. He's a nice guy, don't bully him.
What? A college student. He's just a kid. When I slept with him, how old was he? He must have been of age, right?
For a moment, I wanted to drown myself in shame. How could I do that to someone so young?
What are you talking about? Me, bully him?
Just sleep downstairs, be polite, and don't overstep.
All right.
Coming out of the room, I found a pair of clean white slippers at the door. Looking at my bare feet, I slipped them on. He was quite considerate, and I had nothing more to say. The smell of milk wafted from downstairs, and my hungry stomach growled. Unable to resist, I walked over.
Haven't had breakfast yet, have you? Sit.
I was confused about who was the host and who was the guest. He acted like the owner, while I felt like the guest.
Can you cook?
If you don't like it, you don't have to eat.
With that, he was about to take the prepared omelette away, but I grabbed his wrist, signaling him to put it down, which he did. I was starving, devouring the milk and omelette. When I finished, he had barely eaten. I had already cleaned my plate. It made me look like a glutton. Andrew's smile, which I caught, seemed to mock me.
What are you laughing at?
After eating, I needed a shower. I reeked of alcohol from last night, and I hadn't bathed or changed clothes. I felt dirty, which didn't suit my image as a little fairy.
I'll wash them.
I'll wash them.
After breakfast, I had a good talk with him, hoping we could forget that night. We agreed to live peacefully in the house for the remaining days, avoiding interference in each other's private lives.
Agreed.
I felt a pang of guilt, thinking this young man was too easygoing. Instantly, I felt a bit ashamed. The weather was scorching, and I craved something cool to eat. I devoured the watermelon too quickly, and its cold nature made my stomach feel uncomfortable. Oh no! This isn't good. The stomach cramps hit me unexpectedly. Living alone for the past few years, busy with work, my meals were often irregular, leading to this issue. Just then, Andrew came out to get some water. "Can you get me some medicine? It's in the black leather bag hanging in the room." He noticed my face was alarmingly pale and didn't hesitate, quickly bringing me the medicine and water.
Is this a stomach cramp?
Yes, it's an old problem.
Why is the medicine taking so long to work this time?
The spasms twisted my stomach like a pretzel, making it hard to take a deep breath. Sitting or lying down was unbearable. Andrew's gaze grew more conflicted as he watched me. Suddenly, he grabbed my arm, lifted me up, and with a swift motion, I found myself on his back. His broad, strong back enveloped me with warmth, my breath unsteady.
What are you doing?
Do you want to suffer? If you're sick, you need to see a doctor. I'm taking you to the hospital. Don't talk. I'm taking you to the hospital.
His voice was gentle yet firm, a stark contrast to his usual banter. Without an elevator, he carried me from the 6th floor to the 1st. Though I wasn't heavy, carrying a full-grown person is no easy task, yet he didn't utter a word of complaint. His strong arms were steady and unwavering. It was then that I realized just how significant the natural difference between men and women could be. I had to leave quickly. How could I explain taking responsibility? Hurriedly, I dressed, pulled 1,000 yuan from my bag, placed it on the table, and dashed out without a trace. Not long after, the man on the bed stirred, his lean, muscular lines faintly visible under the blanket.
Did she really think I was a gigolo?
I had to leave quickly. How could I explain taking responsibility? Hurriedly, I dressed, pulled 1,000 yuan from my bag, placed it on the table, and dashed out without a trace. Not long after, the man on the bed stirred, his lean, muscular lines faintly visible under the blanket.
Laughing in disbelief, did she really think I was a gigolo?
After my parents returned, along with Andrew, we had a delightful meal together. That evening, Andrew received a call from his college roommate, Emily.
The thesis submission date has been moved up. You need to return to campus.
Got it, thanks. I'll finish up my work here and head back.
The call ended. Outside, the moonlight was bright, casting a silver glow. Snow piled up on the window ledge, leaving the room in complete silence. Andrew's eyes, deep and enigmatic, held something unfathomable and elusive. The next day, I went to stay at Jessica's place for a few days, completely unaware that Andrew was about to leave. 3 days later, when I returned home, I found my room empty, all traces of his presence meticulously erased. It turned out he had left without saying goodbye. I couldn't quite grasp the sense of loss and confusion that swept over me. In hindsight, I realized we didn't even exchange contact information. My parents had it, but I stubbornly refused to ask. After my vacation ended, I returned to work in my rented apartment. That night, I received a friend request on WeChat, JZ. Who? After some thought, I decided to accept it. My hair was still dripping wet as I dried it with a towel. Ding! A message popped up on WeChat. I opened it.
It's Andrew.
I was so shocked that I dropped my phone onto the carpet. Just as I was about to pick it up, a video call request came through. I didn't answer and sent a message instead.
What do you want?
Andrew didn't explain and sent another message.
Answer the call.
He sent another video request. Thinking it might be urgent, I quickly accepted. After a moment of blurry movement, I heard that familiar, cool, magnetic voice.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
The voice was so close, it felt like a whisper in my ear. I instinctively held the phone further away. The blurry figure moved, seemingly getting onto a bed. The curtains blocked the light, making the room dim. Under the soft night light, the camera gradually focused. It scanned over fair skin, following the elegant lines of his muscles to his chest, then down to his narrow waist. His prominent Adam's apple stood out, emphasizing his presence, with smooth, perfect lines. I swallowed involuntarily, feeling like I was about to drool. Then, I met those smoky, teasing eyes filled with a playful, ambiguous smile.
Satisfied, sis?
Ahem. What satisfaction?
I stubbornly refused to admit my inappropriate thoughts about Andrew's body.
I worked out especially for this video call with you, sis. Don't you like it?
I couldn't resist. Internally, I howled like a wolf. This little rascal calling me sis was too much. Blushing furiously, I stiffened my neck and refused to admit it. The camera started moving again, scanning over his firm abs. Suddenly, the screen went black, leaving me frustrated and disappointed. I realized that this kid was deliberately teasing me today. My mind went blank, and I bit my lip, speechless for a long time. Andrew's soft laughter only stirred my heart further.
Andrew, are you trying to seduce me?
Yes, but it's a pity you don't like it. All my efforts were in vain.
Not letting me see enough, not letting me have a taste, I angrily hung up the call. My phone buzzed. It was Andrew, sending 2 photos. The first one, I was wearing a white dress, my long black hair cascading like a waterfall, half dry on my shoulder.
You look beautiful tonight, sis.
The second one, Andrew was wearing a gray-white short-sleeved pajama top, looking clean and fresh. His raven-like eyelashes cast a shadow, his high nose bridge accentuating his deep features. Those clear, calm eyes held a deep, inky emotion.
Good night.
I had to admit, he was exactly my type. As for how he got my contact information, it was undoubtedly my parents' doing. I had to leave quickly. How could I explain taking responsibility? Hurriedly, I dressed, pulled 1,000 yuan from my bag, placed it on the table, and dashed out without a trace. Not long after, the man on the bed stirred, his lean, muscular lines faintly visible under the blanket.
Did she really think I was a gigolo?
Although I was exhausted, it was a relief that Andrew was there, otherwise, I would have been late for sure. After catching my breath backstage for a few minutes, I went on stage. I felt that my performance was quite stable. My confident and poised speech received a lot of applause, which gradually eased my nerves. Meeting Andrew's gaze, I felt a sense of reassurance and calmed down.
Who is that senior?
She's really pretty.
Yeah, how about I get her WeChat for you later?
2 male students whispered and laughed, all of which fell into Andrew's ears. His eyes turned cold and deep as he slowly stepped forward, accidentally knocking over the books of one of the talking students, scattering them all over the floor.
Sorry.
The student was about to get angry but froze when he saw Andrew's face and eyes, quickly backing down.
Senior Andrew, it's okay. It's our fault for not placing them properly.
Andrew smiled gently, turned around and walked away, his expression instantly turning cold. I gracefully bowed at the end of my speech, but as I stepped off the stage, I tripped over a wire.
At that moment, all I could think was, high heels, my lifelong enemy.
To my surprise, I didn't fall. A strong arm caught me around the waist, and when I opened my eyes, I found myself securely held in Andrew's embrace.
Thank you.
He suddenly bent down, and I didn't understand why. Looking down, I saw that my high heel adorned with rhinestones had fallen off. He knelt to put it back on for me, his movements as gentle as if performing a sacred ritual. I remembered Jessica once told me that if a man is willing to kneel and put your high heels on for you, marry him. Such a man is worth a lifetime. At that moment, I thought perhaps I had met the prince who would put on my high heels.
Be careful.
I nodded instinctively and walked back to my seat, noticing that everyone's eyes were on us, filled with gossip. My face flushed with embarrassment. Andrew went on stage, and I realized he was also giving a speech as an outstanding student. He was even more impressive than I had imagined. Standing on stage, Andrew looked like the favored child of heaven, even the spotlight seemed to favor him more. His voice was calm and steady, compelling everyone to listen intently. When he finished speaking, he didn't step down immediately. He walked to the front of the stage, picked up the microphone, and scanned the audience, his gaze finally settling on me. My heart tightened with his every move, my breath becoming unsteady, as if something was slipping out of my control.
Sorry everyone, today is special. I want to take this opportunity to confess to a girl I've liked for a long time.
His words caused a stir in the audience, with many eyes turning towards me. But in my eyes, there was only him.
I've liked her for 6 years. From freshman year to my second year of graduate school. She might not even know I've liked her for so long. Olivia, I've liked you since the first time I saw you in freshman year. You might not remember me, but I clearly remember your spirited defense of others, your meticulous care for every student you encountered as a teaching assistant, your courage in pursuing your dreams. Your bravery, your cuteness, your intelligence, your kindness, each one is a reason I fell in love with you. So, senior, may I have the honor of being your boyfriend?
His words completely broke down my defenses, and tears streamed down my face like pearls on a broken string. I didn't care if my makeup was ruined or if my expression was out of control. I never imagined someone could silently love me for 6 years without any response. This love was too heavy, and I had never noticed. Or perhaps this love had always been evident in every detail, in the way he looked at me, in the slippers he thoughtfully prepared for me, in the breakfast he made to my taste, in his anxious care when he took me to the doctor. Everything had traces of his love. I had always thought it was just a fleeting interest from a male student. The male student from earlier now realized he had misspoken and smiled helplessly. Jealous men are scary, and even more so when they're heartthrobs. Someone nudged me, and before I knew it, I was on stage. High heels made it hard to walk, so I took slow steps towards Andrew.
Why do you like me?
I don't know, maybe it's because you're you. No one can replace you. You haven't answered me yet. Will you?
Junior, would you like to be my boyfriend?
He didn't expect that. Andrew suddenly hugged my waist, pulling me close as if he wanted to merge me into his very being. A deep, resonant laugh came from his throat.
I will, of course, I will. I've waited for you for 6 years.
I couldn't hold back any longer and hugged his broad back. Thunderous applause erupted from the audience, and I realized we were still in front of everyone. This was embarrassing enough to be famous across the entire school. I might never have the face to return for future school events. I buried my face deeper into Andrew's chest.
The first time I met you, you were wearing a very ladylike white lace dress, yet you did something far from ladylike.
That jerk! I couldn't stand it. After shopping with Jessica, I led Emily to kick down the door.
I was in the next room at the time.
I didn't know that. I was just furious and wanted to teach those guys a lesson. I lifted my dress and delivered a spinning kick, leaving a big footprint on the guy's face.
The incident blew up, and the school found out. Both sides were at fault. The guy had poor character and behavior, and I was too aggressive. Both of us got a mark on our records.
But to this day, I don't regret it.
I had never seen a girl so carefree and bold, full of chivalry yet a bit foolish. It piqued my curiosity about you.
He started paying more attention to me, finding out that I was the teaching assistant for his class. He was so excited he couldn't sleep at night.
But after a few classes, I got sick and took a leave of absence. When he saw me again, I was no longer there.
To this day, he still talks about it with a face full of regret.
I seem to recall such a guy. At the time, I even mentioned to Emily that he was quite her type. But he was a junior, and the age gap was a bit much, so I kept my feelings to myself.
Thinking about it now, I also feel a bit regretful, so I offered a comforting kiss.
In the end, he told me that he wasn't drunk that night at the bar. Everything happened naturally because he wanted it to. He was pleasantly surprised to find me hanging out with Jessica at the bar.
He wanted to take me out of that place, but I boldly kissed him directly.
With the girl he liked in his arms, he couldn't resist, and everything happened naturally after that.
When he mentioned this, my eyes widened in disbelief. I had always thought he was the one taken advantage of, but it turned out it was me.
I had thought he was a clean-cut, gentle guy, but he turned out to be a cunning, scheming wolf in sheep's clothing.
A few months later, he graduated from his master's program.
That day, I brought flowers to congratulate him. He knelt down on one knee and, in front of everyone, put a proposal ring on my finger.
We embraced, capturing the happiest and most beautiful moment of our lives in the graduation album.
I felt an unprecedented sense of happiness.
Not long after we got married, I became pregnant. Andrew had already found investors and started his own company, gaining a good reputation in the industry.
When he found out I was pregnant, he stopped going to the office and stayed by my side every day, taking care of me.
At that moment, I thought, a woman reaching this point must be at the pinnacle of life.
But on the day of the natural birth, I had never felt such a strong urge to strangle Andrew.
Giving birth was excruciatingly painful. I swore I would never go through it again.
Seeing my distress, Andrew kept trying to comfort me, asking for hugs, which eased my resentment. Fortunately, our baby was born pink and adorable, a natural heartthrob. It made the pain worth it.
Our family of 3 lived a relatively smooth and happy life.
In this world, nothing is perfect. There are gains and losses, pain and joy. You just haven't met the right person yet.